Then Japan is talking about Kaizen approach to management is based on continuous improvement and focus on quality. So they have different challenges in their economy, different things are there in Japan. And one of the case studies which I have discussed with my students in for on based on this Japan, one of the case studies like that, uh, because of Hiroshima and Nagasaki attack, they were, their perspective changed, and the way they are doing their businesses, the way they think about their culture is altogether different. They're very particular about continuous improvement and focus on quality. So one of the case study, like in Japan, if you go and work there in Japan, if you see, not work, if you see in Japan, so if it's like very in India and Western countries, it's easy to leave your job and find out some other job, and you can work anywhere. And in like it's like common in US also, Europe also, and India also. You don't like the job and leave it, but it doesn't happen in Japan. In Japan, you if you are joining one organization, you are going to retire from that organization only. People spend life in one organization only. They join from the junior position and they retire from the senior position. That is the like for them, it's a taboo for them. It's a like respect for them. So I want to talk about here more about Japanese culture, because as we think that Japanese culture is like based on continuous improvement and focus on quality. At the same time, they are more focused on their self respect and their the respect to the organization, the respect to their seniors also. So multiple societal cases can be seen in Japan when one of the example, like one employee, multiple. I just want to give you one example. One employee, he was working in one of the organizations in Japanese company, and his employer asked him that you because he was not performing very well. His employer asked him to leave the organization and go and find some other job in other company, or you be here and work as a junior position, because in Japan it's not a culture that you ask your employees to leave the organization. They will demote you, but they will not promote you. But when he went to the home and he told his wife, that my management people, they're asking me to uh, join, learn more, then come back and then you can do this job. And they demoted me from senior manager to assistant manager. And his wife said, it's like very bad news. When our community will come to know that organization has demoted you, then how we are going to survive, and no one is going to come forward to take our daughter's hand, and how we are going to marry our daughter. So like a very very, what should I say, very they take it very emotionally, and that's how that person committed suicide. And we can see number of instances where people, they are more focused on, they want to dedicate their life towards the organization, they want to focus on quality, they want to focus on improvement. But if you see, they are more external oriented. They want to see outside only, they don't want to see inside. On the other hand, a knowledge metaphor indicates achieving a competitive advantage based on knowledge and talent. In Indian management, the focus is on knowledge, as knowledge seeking ethos represent the essence of Indian ethos and defined for India for ages. If you talk about, Panchatantra stories. We from the childhood we are telling stories to our kids only. That is our in system. Giving values, ethics, and inculcating in ethics and value in our kids through our childhood only, through different ways, maybe through chanting of mantra, to Bhagavad Gita, through any Upanishad, through Panchatantra stories. So these Panchatantra stories, which are coming from Kashmir, and which talks about political sciences, which talks about how to take decision, we are giving this knowledge. We Our culture is more focused on knowledge only from since childhood. When our kids are born, we talk about, initially we start with the chanting stories, and we talk about these stories, panchatantra stories, stories of Upanishads. From Nachiketa is talking about, from Kathopanishad, Nachiketa is talking with the Yama. So these type of stories are there, which are the roots of Indian management, Indian knowledge system, where we pass the knowledge through different ways. So this is our culture, and these all the if you talk about all the Panchtantra stories and stories coming from our Upanishad, the discussion between which is happening in Upanishad, it talks about our basic values and ethics. And at the same time, these stories not only based on external world, these stories based on your internal world, how to how to understand yourself. If you understand yourself, then everything is like okay, you understood the world. Only if you understand yourself, the more focus of knowledge is about knowledge of the self, not knowledge of this world. That is uniqueness of Indian knowledge system. The here I'm taking this word, a knowledge metaphor indicates achieving a competitive advantage based on knowledge and talent. In Indian management, the focus is on knowledge as knowledge seeking ethos represent the essence of Indian ethos, has defined Indian India for ages. So I have, this is a model given by this uh, 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 I have related this model with my one of the mantra from this Rig Veda. This K3 model is a Kola, Kaizen, and knowledge. The Kola, Kaizen knowledge define the DNA of American, Japanese, and management. If we talk about in this Vasudeva Kutumba, America is also part of Vasudeva Kutumba. Europe is also part of Vasudeva Kutumba. Japan is also part of Vasudeva Kutumba. So we are not saying that Western management is useless, and no, Western management, the best part of Western management is the way they approach any problem externally. I would not say internally, externally. The way they organize any tools and techniques, the way they produce the technology, the well structured way of presenting the knowledge, they are the best in that. Even in Europe also, and the Japanese are very different. They more focus on the quality and culture also. If we integrate everything with our knowledge, that is why let the noble thoughts come from everywhere is the translation of Rig Veda hymn. Ano bhadraha kratavo yantu vishwato this dhaso aparita sad saudbidha. So it talks about that let noble thoughts come from everywhere. So in this Indian management philosophy, we talk about that we should learn from Western management also. We should learn from European management. We should learn from this Japanese management, because they all are giving knowledge of external world. But Indian knowledge systems, they're giving the knowledge of ourself. When we integrate the self knowledge and the external knowledge, we have a holistic management model, which is very required for today's global challenges. In first slide, I spoke about that autoimmune diseases, like different diseases are there, cancer is there. If you talk about infertility rate was very high in America, Europe, and different countries. Now the infertility rate is increasing in India also. Today, the population of world is approximately 8 billion, and maybe I don't know, as per after 2000 years, the this population will be half. It will be approximately 2 billion only, because the way we are exploiting the nature, the way we are doing right now, the AI technology and all. So we see a lot of challenges with respect to our biological problem where infertility is there. And also only India is a country where we have a young population. If you go to Japan, in Japan you see there most of the 70% of the population is very growing very old, and they are like 70 years, more than 70 years old. So they are seeking seeking help from India that we should send our young people there and they can work. They can go, and there are a lot of opportunities are there in Japan. Each and every day, a lot of Japanese are coming to India and they are giving a lot of opportunities to our young adults because their population is growing, is going down. And I'll talk about the American management, what's the problem going on in American system, also Western management also. Then this is like then there is a one model again which was given by Professor Subhash Sharma, and he's the only professor in Indian knowledge system who has given such models where where we can relate such models. Otherwise, most of the professors, most of the scholars, and this they have given a lot of theories. They have not given management models. So if I want to compare, Western management models with Indian management models, then I think Professor Subhash Sharma is there, Professor S.K. Chakraborty is there, and then Professor J.B.P. Sinha and Professor Mahadevan and Debashish Chatterjee from IIM Kozhikode. And so these people, they have given a lot of Indian management models, models which are relevant for our contemporary management philosophy. तो कि this I want to just this the four line symbol, harmonic globalization, the classical, if you say this the four line symbol which he has interpreted from his mind, you can see the three lines here. If you see the three lines, this understanding the Indian paradigm, four lines metaphor, from front side you can see only three lines. One is represent the people, the left one presenting the state, and the right presenting the state, from management perspective. But you can't see the back line. So if you see that Western management philosophy talks about state, people, and market only. Only Indian management talks about the self-owned. That is the metaphor, and that how he has related this metaphor with the self. They always neglect and they can't see the self. They can see only three things only. They can't see the self. Yeah, just recently, if I don't know the sources, but recently we had a discussion with our IKS team, and in IKS team in European country, one of the European university, they have given $2 million research project to some of the scholars, and they want to understand what is dharma and what is self. Only $2 million. This is a project they were talking about. I don't have the resource. I don't know which sources, but they were talking about this. People in Western management, they are more interested in our dharma philosophy. What is the meaning of dharma? That is why they are doing a lot of research in dharma. They are a lot of doing the research in Indian knowledge systems also. Key aspects of three paradigms. Key aspects of three paradigms in American Japanese can be understood in terms of three levels: philosophical foundation, leadership dynamics, and sustainability. So they have different vision of life. Americans' paradigm vision of life rooted in struggle for existence, survival of the fittest. Japanese paradigm vision life are rooted in struggle for improvement. And the Indians' paradigm vision of rooted in struggle for coexistence. We always talk about, this. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. We always talk about that we should come together and we should think about everybody, and we should not think about only ourselves. So that is a uniqueness of Indian knowledge systems. Indian knowledge system. So here we're talking about American paradigm visions of rooted in struggle for existence and survival for the fittest. If you go if you know the history of America, in history of America, people talk about why they struggle for existence, because if you see there that they don't have a lot of natural resources. Okay, they are totally dependent on their own struggle only. That is why India is the place we have all the natural resources. We have ample of everything, but we don't understand. But still we are trying to do, we are trying to say, because of this 200 years and invaders, and 600 years of this Mughal time, and this 200 to approximately more than 200 years of British India Raj, this 7 to 800 years approximately. Because of that, they exploit our natural resources so drastically that we are trying to revive our natural resources, we are trying to revive our knowledge system also. But at the same time, the kind of they have removed the Sanskrit from our education system. And this McCoy, and he introduced this English and Western education system. And now, because of our national education policy, and we are introducing our subjects which are coming from Indian knowledge system. But if you see in 1980s, before 1980s, uh, people, they used to very hesitant when I was doing my PhD. And in my PhD, I was in my one of the parameters were I had to take the interviews of professors, scholars, pioneers, those who are working in Indian knowledge systems. So I used to take interview, why Indian knowledge system and Indian management is different from Western management, and what are the uniqueness, how we can, we can we can what should we do so that we can spread the importance of Indian knowledge system and this Indian management. So don't want to use the name of that professor, but there are a couple of professor, not one professor. When I was taking their interview, and they said before 1980s they were scared to talk about our Indian knowledge system, because people used to think, we Indian knowledge system means only Sanskrit and Vedas chanting and all. And they used to feel like English is better and English is the only way of life, because if you are English medium qualified, then you're going to go get a job. And also there was politically also there were some forces where people were not they didn't give me they didn't give me the interview with with full open mind. They said they can't give it. And even I have such mails also where people, they talk about that they can't give interview on Indian management because they were scared, because of, I don't know, they had some bad experiences in during 1980s and all. So a vision of life, Indian paradigm, vision of life, routine struggle for coexistence. We are talking about coexistence. We are talking about uh, how to how to live together so that we will have the well-being also and abundance and everything. So here then foundation theories define the respective paradigms. American paradigm based on theory X and theory Y, Maslow hierarchy of needs as a basic concept. And Japanese management talks about theory Z, the idea of continuous improvement, Kaizen. And the Indian paradigm based on Vasudeva Kutumba. That the lot of different scholars, they gave different theories in this basket. There we have a lot of earlier in 1980s the work they have done, lot of professors they have done till today. Now we have enough, not enough, but lot of management theories, models are there. With the help of them, we can say that Indian management philosophy is unique. And I would not say that Western management or Japanese management, any other management is bad. Everything is good, but only the uniqueness of Indian management or Indian knowledge system is that it talks about yourself, how to connect with yourself. So here they're talking about only external world. They're talking about theory X, theory Y. If you are not aware of that, theory X and theory Y, then it's like Maslow hierarchy of needs, and these are the theories which was given. But they talk about only this how to exploit your employees, how to not exploit, but how to use. They not exploit. They talk about how to. They used to consider. They are consider human as a resources, but human is not as a resource. Okay, human, you have different resources, but people talk about resource. Human is not a resource. Okay, so human, we can say it can be how we can manage people, we can manage their effectiveness, how we can enhance their productivity. But they this is like a very different and concept they talk about like that. Then we have leadership dynamics of three paradigms reflected in terms of decision making approaches. So if it this is a very important slide where I think it started from 1980s till today, and they have different scholars, pioneers of Indian management. They have in a management philosophy, they have differentiated Western enlightened tradition. The American paradigm is largely dominated with head, rationality, perspective of decision making. Whereas because of Zen influence, the Japanese paradigm emphasizes on the head coupled with the heart approach. It, its tools and techniques such as quality circle, etc., reflect a combination of rationality and intuition. But at the same time, if you see the Indian paradigm, because of its spiritual heritage, consciously and unconsciously reflects a combination of head, heart, consciousness, spirituality, with greater reliance on heart and consciousness. So they any model or anything is incomplete if you don't consider your own consciousness is important. So I was attending one of the seminars of Professor Subhash Kak, and who's a Padma Shri, and who is a who's a professor this in US in one of the universities, and he's a computer scientist, and he's one of the greatest computer scientists right now in the world. And he's also a board member of one of the board members in Modi ji's team in technology and sciences. So he was talking about that, people now, because of AI technology, throughout the world, people are we can see the chat GPT, we can see a lot of technologies are there, and we maybe after 10 years you will not find any job also where many organization will be working through AI technology also. So he was talking about now scientists are looking for how to make robots so that they should have their own consciousness. And lot of people are approaching to him, how, because he is the expert in IKS, one of the experts in IKS. I would recommend all the faculty members that who are attending my session that please watch his all the YouTube videos on IKS, and it is like full of knowledge, and it will give you different perspective. And also he's expert in Vedas, Upanishad. He actually he is a very well renowned author in IKS. Please go and just see his video. I would recommend Professor Subhash Kak. Okay, so the Indian paradigm, because of spiritual heritage, consciousness. So now people are talking about, scientists are talking about consciousness. They're talking about whether a robot can have its own consciousness. It's not possible because it is only given to us only. But at the same time, if you talk about atom, if you talk about Prakriti and Purusha, okay, the how this universe is made up with this avyakta, then we have Prakriti and Purusha. In Prakriti is like we whatever we see around us, anything, whether it is living being or non-living, even the wood also, your anything, it is made up of Prakriti. Each and every atom, they have their own consciousness. That is why Professor Subhash Kak is telling that it is possible that each and we can produce such robots where they will have consciousness. And once they will have their consciousness, they will think like, human beings are very, very lower to us, and they will not what should I say, they will consider us very, inferior. And they will then they will have if you have seen that movie which has come just now only, which was on this Kalki Avatar. So it talks about, in future, because of this AI technology, we have such robots, they have their own consciousness. If they have such consciousness, how we are going to deal? That is the another challenge is coming on our way. That is why IKS is important. We need to have consciousness, we need to understand, we should give importance to our Indian knowledge system, because Indian knowledge system is the only way to handle such type of challenges in future. If we don't take care of don't spread the importance of Indian knowledge system, we might face such challenges in future. So we have to get ready now